As tragedies often do, this one started with fun, a late-night party, but it descended into chaos, a violent, all-in brawl. At its end, a 22-year-old man was dead and an 18-year-old up-and-coming Australian boxer accused of murder. Khalid Baker protested his innocence. Nothing unusual there. But there is something very strange about this case. One piece of crucial evidence that can't be overlooked. Someone else admitted to the crime. At court, though, the teenager who says he did it was acquitted, while Khalid was found guilty and jailed. 13 years later, he's served his sentence, but this boxer's fight for the truth continues.
Well, I'm a boxer. You might get hit. We're going to stay down.
Khalid Baker, a champion in the ring.
This is what I was born to do.
And a convicted murderer.
Khalid Baker, 185139. You know, that was me. You know, you live with that number for the rest of your life.
But did he spend 13 years in jail for a crime he did not commit?
When you know you're innocent, you will fight to the day you die.
Tonight, the campaign to clear Khalid's name.
There's absolutely no doubt Khalid Baker is innocent. This is a case of black versus white.
And the extraordinary confession that could prove Khalid was wrongly convicted. Who was responsible for Albert Snowball's death?
I feel responsible for it. I was the last person that was fighting with him.
A solitary early morning run along the shoreline on a brisk Melbourne morning. Attached to his ankle, a constant reminder to 32-year-old Khalid Baker that while he's no longer locked up, he is not a free man.
I served 13 years for something I didn't do. Yes, I'm out here, but I want to clear my name.
In 2005, then 18-year-old Khalid Baker was one of Australia's great boxing hopes. He'd just been selected for the Commonwealth Games when he was accused of murder and sent to prison. Even from his cell, he refused to give up on his dream of becoming a world champion.
I remember guys when I was like 10 years ago, Khalid, what are you training for? I said, I'm training to win that world title. They go, what world title? They go, you're in prison, you're doing 13 years, don't worry about it.
How did you keep up your training in prison?
For pads, we used to have toilet rolls, make it flat, put socks between it and...
You trained with dunny rolls?
Dunny rolls, yeah. Dunny roll Baker.
The story starts here in November 2005, a Brunswick warehouse party in Melbourne's inner city. This police video was taken the morning after. On the night, Khalid was the designated driver, accompanying his childhood friend LM, who'd been invited to perform at the event. What was the atmosphere like when you arrived at the party?
It was happening, it was a good vibe, you know, like, I never seen people like that, like, very out there people, rollerblades and different kind of clothes.
It was 3 a.m, dark, loud and crowded. Khalid and LM were dancing and having a good time when another one of their friends, Ali Faulkner, who was drunk and aggressive, started a fight. They raced over to drag him out.
They all turned against us. It was three of us and it was about maybe 100 of them.
Our intention was to break it up, you know, but then when people started throwing punches and attacking or throwing kicks and stuff, so I'm like, okay, we'll have to fight back just to get out of the situation.
I was throwing punches and kicks, and I remember someone smashing a VB bottle across the back of my head. And
You talk about doing like a fly kick and throwing a wine bottle to clear a path.
Yes.
Can you see how that would be viewed as aggressive?
In my eyes, I was getting attacked by full-grown men. I was 18 years old, 64 kilos.
You're probably the only one there who was a champion boxer.
Yes. But at the end of the day, I was still a kid. I was scared. I came out here. It still looks the same today.
Back at the scene today, little has changed. Although a metal grate now covers the first-storey window that the victim, 22-year-old Albert Snowball, fell through.
Albert Snowball came to where this railing is, and he came out and he said, "You black something to us." And Ali ran back upstairs. I followed him.
According to Khalid, he never made it back upstairs. He was restrained before the top step.
I was coming back upstairs here. I picked up the chair, lifted it over my head.
3 witnesses said that happened, yeah?
The chair was grabbed off me. I was pushed down the stairs.
LM at this point was fighting with the victim on the landing.
So we got into a scuffle. He threw a punch, I threw a punch. None of them connected. So I ducked in, I grabbed him, and I just pushed him away. I turned around and I just went down the stairs.
By the time I hit the bottom of the stairs, I could see someone laying on the pavement here, and later on I realised it was Albert Snowball.
Coming up, basically this entire wall and this wall is all Khalid's case. The evidence that proves
I pushed him and turned around, kept walking.
Khalid Baker isn't the killer.
Didn't do it, wasn't there.
So why was he locked away? Why do you think the witnesses all pointed the finger of blame at you?
They couldn't tell who was who. Black guys all looked the same.
This is a case of black versus white.
That's next on 60 Minutes. Khalid Baker was just 18 when he first saw the inside walls of Barwon Maximum Security Prison. Sentenced to 17 years for murder, 12 non-parole.
A lot of guys used to say, "Don't have hope, Khalid, mate. Hope's the most dangerous weapon you can have in prison." I said, "Why?" Because it can crush you, it can eat you alive.
He was sure he'd soon be free, because from day one, his close friend LM had confessed to the fight that saw a young man fall through the window and die. We can't identify LM because he was just 17 at the time, but he made the admission in his very first police interview. And to this day, his story has not changed.
I was pushing my way down the stairs. The other guy hit me from the side. I grabbed him and pushed him and turned around, kept walking. By the time I got downstairs, the guy was on the pavement. I looked up, I think he fell through the window.
LM made it clear to police that Khalid was not even on the landing where the fight took place. That was backed up by 2 further witnesses. Others, however, believed he was. So detectives charged them both with murder.
Here I am saying Khalid wasn't there when, you know, me and Snowball were fighting, but yet they won't believe that. I don't understand. It was not fair at all.
Whose actions caused the death of Albert Snowball?
I was the last person that was fighting with him, but how he went out the window or if it was my push that caused him through the window, I'm not sure. I don't know how he fell out the window. I don't think it was fair that we were tried, you know, under the murder.
How do you see what happened as?
It was just an accident. We were just kids, man. Like, it was not murder.
My hunch is that this really was a tragic accident.
Hey guys, you right?
Michelle Reuters runs the Innocence Initiative at RMIT University in Melbourne.
The other evidence that we have makes it blindingly obvious that Khalid never set foot on the top part of this landing.
She's taken on Khalid's case and is his last chance at clearing his name, submitting a petition for mercy to Victoria's Attorney General. Because for her, this is a clear-cut injustice. What am I missing? How did a jury find Khalid Baker guilty of murder?
I have no other option but to say I think they chose to believe the white witnesses.
Basically, this entire wall and this wall is all Khalid's case.
Yes.
Michelle and her team have spent thousands of hours mapping out all of the evidence.
There are a whole lot of inconsistencies between what they say. And that's understandable because it was an intense moment in a really short period of time.
It was 3 o'clock in the morning. It's a tiny space. It was dark.
Yeah.
Everyone was drunk and there was a big brawl taking place.
Yeah.
With no forensic evidence, the jury relied solely on witness accounts. But no two were the same. And no one actually saw the victim pushed through the window. As uncomfortable as it is to hear, Michelle believes race played a key role in determining guilt.
The prosecution fairly much said this themselves. They said this is a case of black versus white. So the white witnesses who were on the landing largely identified Khalid as the person who pushed Albert Snowball. The black witnesses said that Khalid did not get onto the landing, and they supported a case where LM was the person responsible for pushing Albert Snowball.
Mm-hmm. You also have LM saying, I pushed Albert Snowball.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah.
So what we're saying is the white witnesses were seen to be more believable in the eyes of the jury than the black witnesses.
You'd have to think so. Witness misidentification based on race is a critical factor in a lot of wrongful conviction cases. That's well documented. What we know is that we're more likely to accurately identify people of our own race, and we're more likely to make mistakes in identifying people of a different race.
Why do you think the witnesses who the jury believed all pointed the finger of blame at you?
They couldn't tell who was who. It was just black guys who all looked the same. And that's what I believe.
Even though the friends were tried together for murder, the law in Victoria at the time meant Khalid could not use LM's confession to prove his innocence because it was made outside of a courtroom. It's an absurd and archaic rule that was changed soon after the trial, but it was too late for Khalid. At one point during the trial, LM asked if he could plead guilty to manslaughter. But the prosecution would only agree if Khalid did too. And Khalid wouldn't agree?
No.
Because?
Why would he? He didn't do it.
I'll never plead guilty. I haven't done nothing wrong. I'm not going to plead guilty for something I didn't do.
After a 2-month trial, the jury returned a unanimous verdict for LM. Despite his confession, he was the last person to touch the victim, they found him not guilty. The decision gave Khalid great hope. Did you expect to be walking out of there?
I did. Honestly, I did. I thought, this is a guy who admitted to it and everything like that. I said, oh yeah, I'm going to go home. Then 3 days later, came back with a guilty verdict. And I remember sitting there and thinking, I've just been found guilty for murder. I was just, whoa.
They said that he was guilty and they had him removed from the courtroom.
And he tried to get up and say, I'm not guilty.
Yeah.
And the judge was like, remove the prisoner.
Remove the prisoner, yeah.
Khalid's sister Muna was 16 when he was sent away, and Uji just 8. The verdict crushed his family, especially his mother Aisha. But she was never going to give up on her son.
My mum will never miss a visit, never miss a visit.
I can't miss it.
You know?
What's bad about it?
Did you worry about him in there, Aisha?
Too much.
You thought something bad would happen to him inside.
Yeah.
And something bad did happen. Show me that scar. He was stabbed and nearly died.
That's the scar, and yeah, the stab wound.
But his toughest time in jail was learning his mother had breast cancer and might die.
And I'm like, it's my fault. It's my fault that she got it, you know, and
Why your fault?
I felt like I put her through all this pain, being in prison and all, and you know, when you're that stressed out, I think you make yourself sick. And yeah, I think that was the hardest time. She's my rock. You know, I believe in God, and after God, it's my mother, you know.
Aisha is the reason Khalid is so strong today. The irony is that while his freedom was taken from him, mentally, he's faring better than LM, who has spent the years since that night racked with guilt. Guilt that a young man lost his life, and guilt that his friend, not him, paid the price for it. Do you ever wish it was you who went to prison instead of Khalid?
Yeah, I feel like if there was anybody that had gone to jail for this, it should have been me. But yeah, it's not.
Have you been able to let that go?
No, I can't. I want to, but...
This has been really tough for you, hasn't it?
I can't keep myself together. I'm usually not like this, but...
I wish nothing but the best. Even after all the years after, like 13 years, and I seen him, I said, I forgive you, mate. And, you know, he hugged me and goes, thank you, you know. He goes, I'm so sorry that I didn't do more.
Coming up,
He's on the outside, but he still has the title of a convicted murderer.
resurrecting broken ambitions.
I know what was taken away from me. Now I got the opportunity to get it back.
Victories in the boxing ring and in life.
I just want the truth. That's it. I just want everyone to know the truth, what really happened.
That's next on 60 Minutes. Khalid Baker is making up for lost time. At home in Hoppers Crossing in Melbourne's southwest, he's getting to know his nieces and nephews, who were all born while he was on the inside. For 13 years, he dreamt of his mother's home cooking. And as relieved as they are to have Khalid home, his sisters, Muna and Uji, fear he'll never truly be free until his name is cleared.
He's on the outside, but he still has the title of a convicted murderer, so he's not free, he's on parole.
And you feel he's tainted by that?
He's tainted, 100% he's tainted by it, because it's on his record. You know, it affects everything. It affects every aspect of his life, not just his life, all of our lives.
You know what? Whatever you go through in life does not matter. You can be the best of what you want to be, you know.
Khalid now shares his battle for justice with school and university students, even the Collingwood Football Club. as he waits to hear whether the Attorney General will grant his petition for mercy and refer his case to the Court of Appeal. And what are people's response to your story?
People are amazed. People are more amazed that I'm not bitter or angry. I know what was taken away from me, and now I get the opportunity to get it back, and I won't let no man stand in front of me.
Oh, convict music.
Redemption is more than just clearing his name. Khalid has unfinished business in the ring. He went into jail one of our country's most promising boxers. And tonight, that dream is once again within his reach, fighting for the Victorian title.
All them times in the cell that I used to sit there and just imagine that this time was going to come.
More than just wanting this, it's almost like he needs it. This is your moment. Enjoy it.
No worries, thank you very much.
Good time, man. Too smart, too sharp, can't catch, can't see.
Everyone in this room knows Khalid's story. He's waited long enough for this moment, and he's giving the crowd what they want. What's with the dancing?
That's just my way of relaxing. It brings something out of me.
What do you think that is?
That larrikin, Khalid Baker.
But once the bell rings, it's a different Khalid. It's like his boxing represents his legal fight. Losing isn't an option. His sisters, Muna and Uji, know the stakes. So too does Michelle Reuters. Since the Innocence Initiative took on his case, she hasn't missed a fight. Every day behind bars, he trained for this very moment.
And new ABF Victorian Regional Champion, blue corner, Khalid Baker!
Tonight, Khalid Baker is the new Victorian cruiserweight boxing champion.
You know, I have no limit. I dream big, I dream to the moon, and they say shoot to the stars, you know? That's my thing.
And you got the fancy belt to prove it.
That's what I'm happy. I'm going to sleep with this tonight.
But his fight is far from over, because in the eyes of the law, he remains a convicted murderer. And he won't be free until that's overturned. It will be his true and greatest victory.
I'm just Khalid Baker, innocent for the crime that I was found guilty for. And in time, everyone will learn my story and know the truth. I'm not looking for anyone to feel sorry or pity or nothing like that. I'm not that kind of person. I just want the truth. That's it. I just want everyone to know the truth, what really happened.
Hello, I'm Allison Langdon. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.